Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. And this time, we're talking all about self-help journaling.
Ooh, that's exciting.
It is. It is. We're really going to be kind of going beyond oh, here's a list of journal prompts.
Yeah.
We're going to explore why they work, what makes certain ones more powerful, and how to make this a practice that you can really get something out of.
Yeah, it's not just about filling pages. It's
Yeah.
about really sparking something within.
I love that, sparking something. And our source material for this deep dive is an article from Stallion called 50 Self-Help Journal Prompts. So, yeah, buckle up, get that pen ready.
Awesome.
So the article itself kind of frames journaling as this pathway to self-discovery, right?
Right.
Insights, personal development. It's almost like building a mental gym. But instead of lifting weights, you're lifting layers of yourself. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And just like physical exercise, you need consistency. The more you engage with it, the stronger you get.
Totally right. Totally. So let's not just list all 50 prompts, but let's pick out a few that stand out from the crowd and really kind of dissect them.
Sounds good.
So under the self-awareness category, there's one. What's something I tend to avoid thinking about, and how could facing it help me grow?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right. Deep.
It's all about confronting those uncomfortable truths. We all have them, but it's in those shadows that real growth can happen.
Yeah, and it's interesting how a simple question like that can lead to such profound thought, right?
Oh,
Like we're holding a mirror up to those parts of ourselves we'd rather not see.
exactly. And journaling provides a safe space to explore those hidden corners of our mind without judgment.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, this next one is from the overcoming challenges category. What's one piece of advice I'd give a friend going through a similar challenge, and how can I apply it to myself? And I know I've been guilty of this so many times where I'm giving advice that I don't take myself.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to see the solution when you're not emotionally invested. So by giving advice to someone else, you detach, and it helps you see things more clearly.
Yeah, it's like you're tapping into a different part of your brain
Okay.
when you're trying to help someone else.
Right.
But the beauty of this prompt is you have to turn that inward,
Right.
you know?
It's all about perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we have one from the gratitude and positivity category. What's a small thing I often overlook but brings comfort or joy to my routine?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, it's like we're so busy rushing through life that we forget to appreciate those little things.
It's all about mindfulness, being
Mm.
present and savoring those simple pleasures.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like the warmth of the sun on your skin or the sound of laughter. These are small moments, but they can have a big impact.
Totally.
And by bringing awareness to them, we can kind of amplify those effects.
Exactly.
So these prompts are like little doorways to different aspects of ourselves, right? Each one invites us to explore something a little bit different.
And the more we explore, the more we discover about who we are and what truly matters to us.
Totally. Now, speaking of who's behind these prompts, Clara Penrose wrote this article back in November of 2024 for Stallion. And, they're a website that definitely knows how to motivate.
They do.
It's very encouraging.
It's like they're your own personal cheerleaders for your self-improvement journey.
Right. Exactly. But they do have a knack for weaving in that subtle sales pitch for their fancy journals.
Yeah, a little bit.
Which is fine. But hey, let's be real. A plain notebook works just as well.
Absolutely. The act of self-reflection is what counts.
It is. It is. Okay, so we've talked about the why behind journaling, but what about the how? How do we actually make these prompts work for us? What's the secret sauce?
It's not about simply answering the question. It's about going deeper. Let's think about that one about facing our fears. It's not enough to just say, oh, I'm afraid of spiders. You have to explore the root of that fear, and how it may be holding you back.
It's like investigative journalism. But instead of uncovering a scandal, we're uncovering our own limiting beliefs.
Exactly. And by acknowledging them, we can start to dismantle them and move forward.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
And this is where the beauty of journaling really shines, right? It's a safe space to be completely honest with ourselves, explore those vulnerabilities without judgment.
Totally. And remember, you don't have to have all the answers right away. Sometimes just asking the question is enough to start the process of self-discovery.
That's so true.
Yeah.
It really is.
Welcome back to our deep dive into self-help journaling.
Yes, we're back.
We've barely scratched the surface of these 50 prompts from Stallion.
Right.
And I'm excited to keep going.
Me too. I feel like we're on a treasure hunt for self-discovery here.
We are.
Sifting through these prompts.
Let's dive back into the overcoming challenges category.
Okay.
There's one that asks, how do I usually respond to difficult situations and what strategies help me stay grounded? It's a good reminder that challenges are inevitable.
They are. It's not about avoiding them.
Right.
It's about learning how to, ride the waves.
Exactly. How to navigate them with grace and resilience.
I know I tend to go into full-on panic mode,
Yeah.
like right away.
It's interesting how we all have these default reactions to stress. We do. Some people shut down.
Yeah.
Some people lash out.
Right.
Some people try to find a solution right away.
Right.
But it's all about understanding those tendencies.
So it's like becoming a student of your own reaction.
It is.
And then from there, you can develop healthier coping mechanisms.
Exactly. And that's where the second part of the prompt comes in. What strategies help me stay grounded?
Right.
So that's like your anchor in the storm.
It could be deep breathing,
Yes.
mindfulness,
Yeah,
a walk in nature,
absolutely.
listening to music.
What's about having that personal toolkit
Yeah.
of calming techniques?
Right. And you can kind of build that toolkit as you go through these journal prompts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By reflecting on your past experiences,
Yeah.
you learn what works best for you.
It's like having a personal coach,
It is.
helping you analyze your game plan. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit to a prompt that brings in some sunshine from the gratitude and positivity category. When do I feel happiest, and what situations bring out that feeling in my life? I love this one.
It's a good one. It reminds us there's a lot of joy to be found.
There is.
It's about remembering those things that light us up.
And those moments aren't always big, splashy events,
Right.
Sometimes the purest happiness comes from the simplest things.
Totally. The warmth of the sun, a shared laugh with a friend, even just a moment of quiet contemplation.
Yeah, by identifying those moments, you can create more of them.
Exactly. It's all about cultivating gratitude and appreciation.
And journaling can be a very powerful tool for that.
It can.
Okay, I have to ask about this one from Developing Self-Care Habits. It says, when I'm feeling overwhelmed, what's something I can do to find calm and regain my balance? We're in this always-on world, and it's so easy to get overwhelmed.
It is. It is. And it's a reminder that self-care is essential.
It is.
It's not a luxury. We live in a culture that glorifies busyness,
We do.
productivity. But you can't pour from an empty cup.
No.
You have to replenish your energy,
Right.
both physical and mental.
What does recharging look like for you?
Honestly, sometimes it's as simple as taking a few deep breaths.
Yeah.
Other times I need to get out in nature,
Yeah.
disconnect.
So it's finding those things that soothe your soul and bring you back to center.
It is. It is. What about you?
For me, it's like a long bath with a good book.
Oh, that's nice.
Like that is my ultimate reset button.
I like it.
Okay. What about this one from Setting Goals? How does setting goals make me feel, and what inspires me to keep moving forward? It's interesting because goal setting can feel so different for different people.
It can. It can.
Yeah.
For some people, it's energizing. For others, it can be daunting.
Right.
Like, oh my gosh, I'm setting myself up for failure.
Yeah.
So you really have to understand your own goal-setting personality.
Right. Before you can actually set effective goals.
Exactly. This prompt helps us to explore our relationship with goals. What motivates us and what might hold us back.
Because it's not just about setting the goal, it's about maintaining that momentum. That
Yeah.
second part. What inspires me to keep moving forward?
It's identifying those sources of inspiration
Right.
that fuel your fire.
And journaling can be really powerful there because you can track your progress. You can celebrate your wins.
Right.
And you can reconnect with your why.
Exactly. Like you have a personal cheerleader in your pocket.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, this one from Self-Awareness. How do I handle self-doubt or criticism, and what would help me respond more constructively?
Ooh, that's a good one.
We all have a story about this one, right?
We do. We do.
Self-doubt and criticism are part of life, but it's how we respond to them that can make all the difference.
It is. The first step is to acknowledge those feelings.
Yeah.
You can't address what you don't acknowledge.
And then instead of letting those negative thoughts just consume us,
Right.
approach them with curiosity.
Yes.
Ask, what can I learn from this? Is there any truth to this? How can I use this feedback to grow?
It's about transforming those potentially destructive forces into opportunities for growth.
Yeah. And sometimes the kindest thing we can do for ourselves is just to let it go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not all feedback is valuable.
Right.
It's about discerning what's helpful and what's just noise.
And again, that's where journaling can help.
Totally.
Because you can process those feelings.
But get it out of your head and onto the paper.
Right. Where you can look at them objectively.
Exactly. Reframe your perspective.
Yeah. All right. Let's dive into another prompt from Practicing Gratitude and Positivity. How has gratitude improved my perspective? And what's one habit that helps me practice it daily?
This is a good one.
Gratitude is such a powerful force, but so easy to forget about.
It is. It's a muscle you have to exercise regularly.
Right.
And this prompt encourages us to reflect on how gratitude has already impacted our lives.
It's like taking stock of those moments where a shift in perspective brought you a sense of peace or joy, even in challenging circumstances.
Right. And by recognizing those shifts, we can start to see how powerful gratitude can be.
Yeah. And the second part, what's one habit that helps me practice it daily? Do you have a go-to gratitude practice?
I do. I like to keep a gratitude journal.
Oh, nice.
Each day, I write down 3 things I'm grateful for, no matter how big or small.
Yeah. It's training your brain to focus on the good,
It is.
even when things are tough.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm really intrigued by this next one from developing self-care habits. What does a balanced life look like to me, and how can I work towards achieving it? Balance feels like this elusive unicorn sometimes.
It does.
Mhm.
It does.
I thought-
But it's an ongoing process.
Right, not a destination.
Not a destination. And it
Yeah.
will look different for everyone.
Totally.
Yeah.
So what does a balanced life look like for you? What are the key ingredients?
For me, it's about making sure I'm nurturing all aspects of myself.
Okay.
Physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual.
So it's like finding that sweet spot where all the different pieces of your life fit together.
Exactly. But it's not about achieving some perfect state.
Right.
Because life is constantly changing.
Yeah.
So your sense of balance will naturally shift.
And that's where journaling can be so helpful,
It can.
because you can track those shifts and notice where you need to make adjustments.
Exactly. Like having a personal compass.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, let's explore a prompt from setting goals. When I achieve a goal, how do I celebrate? And why is recognizing my progress important? This one feels like a celebration in itself.
It does. It's a reminder to savor those moments of achievement.
Yeah. We often get so caught up in striving for the next thing
We do.
that we forget to celebrate how far we've come.
Exactly. It's like we're running a race and never stopping to enjoy the view.
Yeah.
Celebrating our wins, both big and small,
Right.
is essential for maintaining that motivation and momentum.
And those celebrations don't have to be grand or extravagant.
No, they don't.
It could be as simple as taking a break to do something you enjoy or treating yourself to something nice.
Totally. The key is to make it meaningful and to really savor that feeling of accomplishment.
Okay, this next one from self-awareness. What's one way I can start to be kinder to myself each day, and why is it important to me? We talk a lot about self-care, but self-kindness feels like the foundation of it all.
It is. It's treating yourself with the same compassion and understanding you would offer a friend.
Because so often we're our own worst critics,
We are.
focusing on our flaws, beating ourselves up for our mistakes.
But this prompt challenges us to shift that inner dialogue to one of kindness.
Yeah, and it's not about denying our shortcomings or becoming complacent.
Right.
It's about recognizing that we're all works in progress.
We are.
We're all learning as we go,
And we deserve to be treated with kindness and respect,
especially by ourselves.
especially by ourselves.
What's one way that you practice self-kindness in your daily life?
I like to start each day with a simple affirmation,
Oh, nice.
reminding myself of my worth and my capacity for growth. It's a small act, but it really sets a positive tone for the day.
It's like planting a seed of self-love.
It is.
Yeah.
And remember, self-kindness is an ongoing practice. Some days it will be easier than others, but the more you cultivate it, the more natural it becomes.
I love that.
Okay.
Okay, let's delve into a prompt from Overcoming Challenges that has me feeling a bit introspective. What's a fear I've overcome, and how did it change my perspective on myself and life? This one feels really powerful because it reminds us of our own strength and resilience.
It does. It's about acknowledging how far you've come
Right.
and recognizing that transformative power of facing your fears.
Think about a time when you faced a seemingly insurmountable obstacle,
A challenge that had you doubting your abilities.
but then you dug deep, you persevered, and you came out on the other side.
It's like tapping into a well of strength that you didn't even know you had.
Totally. And it's amazing how those experiences can shift your entire perspective.
You can. It's about rewriting those limiting beliefs and embracing a more empowered sense of self.
And we are back for the final part of our deep dive into self-help journaling with these 50 prompts from Stallion. We've covered a lot of ground, but I still feel like we're just scratching the surface.
Me too. There's always more to explore.
Right, like we've been given this key to unlock our potential.
And we're just starting to see what's possible.
Exactly. We were talking about simple habits to incorporate into our daily routine. And I think for some people, the idea of adding anything new can feel kind of overwhelming.
Yeah, I get that.
But, these prompts aren't about drastic overhauls. It's really about those subtle shifts that can have a surprisingly big impact.
Totally. It's not about striving for perfection or adding more to your to-do list.
Right.
It's about finding those small pockets of peace and intention throughout the day.
Yeah, even just 5 minutes of dedicated quiet time can be so transformative.
It can. It really
So
can.
sometimes it's about subtracting rather than adding,
Yeah.
like putting the phone away, stepping away from the screen, and just being present.
Absolutely. Reclaiming those moments for yourself.
Yeah. Okay, let's explore a prompt that invites us to reflect on the power of resilience. This is from the overcoming challenges category. What's one thing I thought I couldn't handle but surprised myself by getting through? This one I think can unlock some serious confidence.
It can. It's about celebrating those moments where you exceeded your own expectations, where you proved your inner strength to yourself.
Right, because we are capable of so much more than we sometimes give ourselves credit for.
We are.
Think about a time when you faced a challenge that had you doubting your abilities, you know? But then you dug deep, you persevered, and you came out on the other side stronger.
It's like you tapped into this hidden reserve of strength that you didn't even know you had.
Yeah, and those experiences, they can really change your whole perspective on what you believe you can handle.
Absolutely. It's about rewriting those limiting beliefs.
Totally. Okay, let's shift gears to a prompt that connects with our core values. From the self-awareness category, if I could only pass down 3 values to future generations, what would they be and why?
Ooh, that's a good one. It's like creating a legacy of wisdom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really makes you think about what matters most,
It does. What are those core beliefs that have shaped your life?
right?
The principles that guide your decisions? What would you want future generations to embrace?
It's a powerful exercise for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, this next prompt from practicing gratitude and positivity. What's one thing that always makes me laugh no matter what? This one makes me smile just thinking about it.
Me too. Laughter is truly the best medicine.
It is.
It releases endorphins, reduces stress, connects us to others.
And it just feels good.
It does.
This prompt reminds us to embrace those moments of lightheartedness,
Right.
to allow ourselves to laugh freely and often.
And finding humor in the everyday can be such a helpful way to navigate challenging times.
It really can. Okay, let's wrap up our deep dive with a prompt that encourages us to dream big. This is from the setting goals category. If fear was not a factor, what's one thing I would do differently in my life? This one I think has the potential to be really transformative.
It does. It's about stepping outside your comfort zone and imagining the possibilities.
Right. It's about letting go of those limitations that we put on ourselves.
Think about those dreams you've been holding back on, those aspirations that have felt too daunting or too risky.
What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail?
It's about reconnecting with that sense of wonder and possibility.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing about journaling is that it allows us to explore these possibilities without judgment.
It does. You can give yourself permission to dream big, to brainstorm ideas, and to start creating a roadmap.
I love that. So listeners, as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of self-help journaling, I encourage you to really embrace the power of these prompts. Use them as a springboard for self-discovery, for growth, for creating a life that feels more aligned with your values and aspirations.
I agree.
And remember, it's not about being perfect or having all the answers.
Right.
It's about the journey of self-exploration,
Absolutely.
asking the right questions, and discovering the incredible potential that lies within each of us.
Happy journaling, everyone.